As Russian forces pummel through Ukraine, Peloton asks maybe this is the right time for an exercise bike. Nuclear war may be imminent, and if you don't want to be stuck without something to pedal, Peloton. The end is almost here.
Welcome to Apocalypse Soon with Eddie Pepitone, with special guest Megan Koester and guided meditation. And now, your host, Eddie Pepitone.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside. And it is a nasty, nasty day indeed. Everybody waking up to the Russian invasion of the Ukraine. And let me tell you something. The war industry, the media, they are in lockstep, okay? This war that now, this is the first time Europe has had a war on its soil, I believe, since World War II. But the United States, and this is not a defense of Russia. It's, by the way, it's just horrible. It's just horrible, but these wars are continuous, as George Orwell said. Mm-hmm. But I want to welcome first, we could talk all day about megalomaniacs like Vladimir Putin or war criminals like Joe Biden and, all the Republicans and Democrats before him that invaded, the Middle East and Latin America, and blood has been spilled. But let's welcome first the leader of the Mephistophelians, our house band, Bobby!
Hey, what's going down, Eddie? Good to see you, pal. What a beautiful day for war.
Oh, Bobby, you always see the positive in everything. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. There is a certain excitement to this incredible chaos, because the fucking news media, and Bobby, what is the news station that you watch the most? You're an anti-vaxxer, so I'm going to guess you're Fox News.
I get a lot of my news from a guy named Mike on YouTube. Brilliant guy. He brought up a good point. It's cold in Russia. They got to do something to keep warm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bobby, I feel that your worldview sometimes isn't the most sensitive, but thank you. And the Mephistophelians, you're all looking really, really good. Are you guys taking B12 shots?
Yeah, we all take a B12 every morning. Got to do it. Can't help it, and way to stay healthy.
Wow, I didn't know that some of your band is from the South, which is great. Bobby, thanks for coming on. And also, I want to welcome my sidekick, the inimitable producer and sidekick of this show, Kevin Tinkin. Kevin, how are you?
Hello, doing well. How you doing, Eddie? You feeling good today?
I'm feeling okay. I mean, I'm trying to balance in my crazy fucking head all of the information, because one thing we suffer from is too much information, okay? And it's like we're just bombarded with information, with opinions, with propaganda, like revolving around this. And then the horror, and there's true fucking awful horror. People are getting killed. People are getting displaced. Yeah. The potential for a humanitarian crisis. Now, millions of people may be displaced. And this kind of stuff is just like to get bombarded with this information. Like, how do you process it?
Well, I tell you what I'll do. A lot of times, I turn on the news and just the death and decay and the loss of the middle class and just the pure destitute of the world, and it overwhelms me. What I always do to calm myself down is I always like to crack open a cold LaCroix. Get an ice cold LaCroix. Yeah. And when the bubbles hit the back of my mouth, it's like we're all at peace.
So what you're basically saying is that you want a simple pleasure.
Yeah.
Like your antidote I think it's antidote or antidote. Your antidote
Yeah.
to all this human suffering is quite simply a LaCroix. And I'm going to...
Or a Snickers bar, just something to take me out of it. You know?
Sugar.
I used to mainline heroin on a regular basis, and I backed it off a little bit, but I still got, those little guilty pleasures.
Well, I feel like we're all going to be mainlining heroin soon. And I feel like, on every corner, there should be booths where we can just numb ourselves to the fucking tragedies in this world.
Amen,
and I'm
Eddie.
not kidding, folks. We need booths on every corner where we can go in and numb out. Now, I know that this is a science fiction novel in a way, but let me tell you something about science fiction. It's here. It should be called science reality now.
Science
or
facts.
something, science facts. Or something like that. No longer is it like, oh, Philip K. Dick is crazy. Yes, Philip K. Dick had paranoia. And yes, it leads to a lot of fights at Thanksgiving in my family where I say Philip K. Dick was a paranoiac and my father will say, bullshit, Dick was rooted in reality. And I'm like, I'm not talking about your penis, Daddy. And there's a whole fucking thing that goes on with Philip K. Dick and cock at Thanksgiving in my relatives' houses. And I want to say this. The reason I bring up Philip K. Dick, and it's not Philip K. Cock, it's Philip K. Dick. Science fiction is here to stay. Okay? We now have drones in the sky. We have mass slaughter going on. Today it happened, right before the podcast. There was a part of me that said, how can you go in and do a quote-unquote comedy podcast on a day of hell? And my answer to myself is the masses, and that's you people who are watching and listening now, you the masses who are huddled in fear. And what you're saying is, I'm next. Well, it doesn't have to be. If we have booths all over this country where we can have our brains removed, Ben Stiller has his hand on the pulse of this country with Severance. Okay, Stiller is doing a show where people are having operations to separate their work lives from their personal lives. If you haven't seen it, get Apple Plus. All right? Russia has invaded the Ukraine. You need Apple Plus. We need as much entertainment as we can get. We need to fucking numb ourselves. All right? At the same time, we need to be in the present moment. Right, Kevin?
100%. I'm glad you said that, You could turn on the other stations and be like, another burning body. What are you going to turn on some serious guy in a tie? So, hey, a burning body.
Serious guy in a tie. I'm glad you brought that up because Don Lemon last night on CNN, I don't know if you saw it, but Don Lemon has glasses now because of this invasion.
Jesus
Don
Christ.
Lemon now has a gravity and a weightiness to his personality. He's put on glasses, all right? And Lemon was driven to this, okay? Lemon was driven to having to wear glasses, all right? You think Lemon wanted to wear glasses? He did not.
Nope.
Pretty soon, Wolf Blitzer is going to have to wear a helmet. You want to see Blitzer in a helmet? Because they are having a lot of people. Have you seen the reporters, by the way, Kev, where they're like, reporting and they have helmets on and to give you, because I guess they're being safe, even though, it would be, that would be
They got to raise the anxiety and the viewership. I always said it'd be great to have like an anchor step on an active landmine. You know what I mean? And then roll. You know what I mean? I'm here on an active landmine. If I move, I'll be blown to smithereens. The Broncos really had a bad game last night, or whatever the news is.
Well, I think what you're talking about is sweeps week.
Yes.
When anchor, they might roll that out for sweeps week. But what you're talking about is just, magnifying the drama. And this is all drama. And let me tell you something, folks, this is a time to breathe, okay? And I don't mean the stuff that you do involuntarily. We're all breathing involuntarily, which, by the way, and that's involuntary. Where are the freedom fighters in this country for against involuntary breathing? We are breathing involuntarily, okay? Our bodies, they just make us breathe. Let's have some fucking people from the South protest that. We don't want any more involuntary breathing in this country. Okay? Our bodies shouldn't be able to take in air if we don't want to. And what I'm saying is that this is a time to breathe. This is a goddamn nasty time right now. Mm-hmm. Not only is it a Russian invasion in the Ukraine, but there's runaway inflation. People's bank accounts are dwindling. There's already half the country in poverty. Yeah. I believe there's a new variant out. Is that correct? There's a subvariant of Omicron.
Jesus.
And it's doing the talk show circuit right now.
What's it called?
VA2.
VA2.
Jesus.
BA2.
BA2.
BA2, which is a Bachelor of Arts, the second one. All right? A lot of people get 2 Bachelor of Arts because the first one won't even get you in a Wendy's.
Yep.
Your first Bachelor of Arts. By the way, I tell all artists out there, oh, yeah? You want to be a painter? Huh? Do you want to be a painter? Hitler was a painter.
That's right.
I don't know. That was just,
Elliot, Eddie, can I tell you, I love hearing you just yell.
Well,
it gets me pumped up.
I just find that I have a lot of pent up anxiety, I think, and rage. But I think it's mostly anxiety over, like I always have felt, and this is why I've been ahead of the curve.
I've been wondering why you were ahead of the curve.
Well, why I've been ahead of the curve in foreseeing this collapse of everything is because I have always felt a sense of doom, which I believe was instilled in me by my family. And they were ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that, we're in the late end stages of capitalism.
Yeah.
Where everyone is turned into a thing. And the capitalists themselves cannot stop this war. They cannot stop the insatiable lust for profit. And they cannot stop Adam Sandler from doing another Transylvania movie. Well, everybody, we got a great show for you today. We got Bobby and the Mephistophelians. We have an interview coming up. We got a couple of segments that I think you're really going to enjoy. The empire's crumbling. The empire's crumbling. The world is crumbling. And we're here to take you through it. So stick around.
Tired, seriously lethargic, exhausted, drained, out of energy, physically enervated, no pep in your step, comatose, stationary, extremely pooped. Your middle name is I don't give a shit. Well, then maybe Boppicin is for you. It has nothing to do with anything. Boppicin. So what? F you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Apocalypse Soon, our interview segment. And today we have Megan Koester. Megan is a self-proclaimed gatekeeper. Megan, first of all, I just want to get your opinion on what's going on in the world right now.
I think, first off, I just want to say, Edward, it's so nice to see you. I hope that you're thriving in this environment. I just want to say that it seems like the world's a pretty bad place, but the worse a place is, the better it is for storytelling. As somebody who's a storyteller, not by trade, I facilitate other stories. I think the more drama, the more intrigue, the more we have just societally going on, popping off, as it were.
I'm going to stop
the more
you
stories
right there.
will come. I'm sorry?
Stop,
Yes, of course.
I'm going to stop you right there, Ms. Koester.
Uh-huh.
Are you
What's that?
saying, and I'm not really appalled by this, I'm just taken aback, but are you saying that human suffering is for you a good tale?
I would say, as a society, the more we suffer, the more it brings us together. Do you remember when we all collectively laughed at Roberto Benigni for being excited when he won the Oscar for the film about the Holocaust?
Wait.
Yeah.
Now, I find it offensive that you, and every time I've heard you interviewed, you're always bringing up the Roberto Benigni escapades during the Oscars when he climbed over seats, much to the chagrin of a button-down, holier than now, cooler than now Hollywood crowd. Yet you always use Benigni as an example. Where is Benigni now? I mean, and why?
Is that not a great story? Is that not a great story? We're still talking about it so many years later. And you know what? We're still talking about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Not the ones that are actively happening now. I'm referring to the one in the early 20th century.
Right.
And I'm not, by the way, I'm not referring to the Armenian Holocaust, because those stories have not yet been told, and really the Holocaust is still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just, I just feel, and I don't know how you feel about this, Kevin, but I just feel like, these horrific events shouldn't be looked at as entertainment fodder. But Ms. Koester is a gatekeeper in Hollywood. And now when people come and pitch to you, Ms. Koester, does it have to be, hi, my name is Ted, if you will. My name is Ted, and I want.
It helps. It helps if your name. It helps if your name is Ted. It helps if you're a cis white male, especially if
I don't
you're
know what
proud
that means.
and brave enough to tell the story of maybe someone who's non-binary, maybe somebody who's not Caucasian. All of these things help. I will actually not listen to someone who doesn't have the same color skin as me, but that doesn't mean I won't tell their story. So long as it's sold to me by somebody who is standing up with the genitals they were given by birth and who can walk through a TSA line without incident because they're white in America.
Okay, I feel like this is taking a turn, an unexpected turn, for a simple man like me. I don't know if you saw the movie A Simple Plan, where three fellas, Bill Pullman, one of our great actors, Billy Bob Thornton, who has a lot of drama in him and used to wear a vial of Angelina Jolie's blood around his neck, and a third man.
Right.
I can't. Who is it?
I forget.
My one criticism with that film: not enough men.
Yeah.
I wish there were 4 minimum.
Yeah.
4 minimum, huh? Is that is that kind of how your business works? The show.
It is.
Like, let's have 4 minimum.
The more men, the more stories.
Yes.
And the more stories, the more we all collectively get together as a people and, just share this crazy thing called life.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Do I make a lot of money at the end of the day? Yeah. Do I give about 0.2% of it to unhoused people? An additional pandering thing that people say when they refer to people who are poorer than them? Absolutely. Yes. But I don't want that to define me. I just want to be defined as a facilitator for stories.
Yeah.
Facilitator for stories.
And a lot of people would look at things like the Holocaust and they just see all the negative. They just see all the negative.
Right.
But you look at it and you go, without the Holocaust, Steven Spielberg wouldn't have been able to make that beautiful film.
And is Benigni the only person to have won an Oscar on the back of the Holocaust? Absolutely not.
No.
Many of our finest actors, mostly actors,
The Pianist?
have won awards. I'm talking Independent Spirit Awards. I'm talking Cable Ace Awards. I'm talking MTV Movie Awards.
These aren't good awards.
But they are awards nonetheless. And the more awards we receive, the more content we can create.
Without World War II, we would have never seen the brilliance of Tom Hanks acting in what was it? Oh Brother, with the
Without
war,
what?
World War II.
Yeah, but I feel like Miss Koester is doing a big fuck you to a lot of the people who suffer so that these movies could be made. I mean...
No. I'm honoring them by even choosing to tell their story. I'm very
What are your
selective
choices,
with my
though?
stories.
What are your choices if you have a Holocaust story to tell or someone had their bicycle taken? I think you're a money grabber. I
would say a bicycle being stolen is a Holocaust to someone.
Wow.
I think
Would you really put it
everything-
that way? Would you
as
really
the
put it
character
that way?
I'm supposed to be playing in this context, yes.
Wait a minute now. As the character? Now, that's mind-blowing, Kev.
Yeah.
That we have a woman from Hollywood who's a gatekeeper. I don't know if it's a psychotic episode, but she is now saying that she's playing a character. And in this context, is this a...
I mean, in the whole world's the stage sort of way.
Yeah.
Are we not all characters?
Oh,
Wow. That's deep. It's true.
Okay. Her world's a stage, which I believe came out from Calvin and Hobbes. I think that's the reference.
Because I don't only create content, I consume it. Okay, I live it. It's in my blood. It's if I could give birth, I would give birth to content.
Yes, and is it true that you have a child named Content?
It's true that
Or are you
sometimes I let my
childless?
husband watch content, but we are both happily childless.
Happy child.
But that doesn't mean we don't have fun. We like to go on
I would say you
cruises.
would have more fun.
We go on a lot of Disney cruises. Me and Kevin.
Oh.
We do.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. So there is a softer side to you because right now what I'm seeing is a hardened person. I don't want to call you a woman.
I don't know why you're saying a hardened person. I have had the smile affixed on my face the entire time.
I did see
I'm
that.
speaking with an upward lilt. How can anything I do be bad?
Yes. Well, I think it's
True.
because I was raised in a dysfunctional family, and I'm very cued into when someone is playing a character as opposed to being genuine. And I feel like I detected the lilt, I detected the smile, which is something my father and mother did to me. The mixed signals that were in my household were rampant. Let me talk about the new project you just greenlit, Mixed Signals. Starring, I think it's Colin Farrell, and is it Brendan Gleeson or is it his son? I forget.
No, it's the DJ 88. We recently discovered her on TikTok.
Oh,
She's both a DJ and she dances. Which a lot of people they choose sides. Some people DJ, some people dance.
Right.
DJ 88. She's actually not a human being. She's an AI. So we can pay her less.
yeah.
I
We can
feel
pay her
like
less. We don't have to give her bathroom breaks.
yes. Well,
She won't get
that's what.
offended too easily, like a lot of women.
Yes. Yes. You can touch her digital bottom.
Yeah.
You can insert your fingers in her digital pussy if you'd
Wow.
like.
Well, I don't think we
you can
need
do
to.
any number of things to DJ 88.
See, technology's great.
Well,
It's
I
great.
I don't know why again we went down that road, but I do want to point out that I believe TikTokers and just this whole social media craze is leading to a dilution, if you will, because I was brought up in a chemistry environment, a dilution of real talent. People who dance on TikTok, people who sing on TikTok, aren't they the enemy to real creatives?
Yeah. No gatekeepers.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When Mikhail Baryshnikov danced, was that not art?
Yes, but he didn't do it on TikTok.
Therefore, wouldn't all dancing be art?
Is that really how you think? Like, that's a broad, sweeping. Oh, because Mikhail Baryshnikov. Yes, of course, there's great dancers, but Baryshnikov didn't, get famous on Twitter. I don't think he would have done that.
Well, I mean, in fairness, we didn't have that capability at the time. We weren't connected, with these little computers in our pockets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I would say probably I would say if Anne Frank had a iPhone, she'd probably be live streaming her whole ordeal. It probably would have gone viral, and the war would have been over there.
Now that's a story.
We got a little girl who's scared. We got a little girl in an attic who's scared. Mm-hmm. We're going to send our finest up there, and we're going to take her out. I don't mean take her out, kill her.
No, I know you do.
I mean extricate her from the hell that was her life.
Yeah,
and prevent her death.
Yes, and by
the way, her death did make a lot of content.
Oh yeah.
But what would have been better content? Her surviving.
I like that. I like that for
persevering over adversity.
Like maybe an HBO show like Anne Frank 2022, and she's got a Twitter channel. She's doing dance moves in the attic. You know, it could go viral. That's something. I feel like there's something there.
Anne Frank on TikTok.
The synapses in my brain are already. Well,
it was
I'm
your
going to ask
idea.
DJ88 if her Q2 calendar's open, because we might want to get an Apple Plus.
Who would you see playing?
I have a first look with Apple Plus, by the way, if you guys have any ideas. What's up?
Wow.
A first look with Apple Plus, yeah.
Let me ask you.
What's your favorite Apple Plus show?
My favorite Apple Plus show. Wow. I
just watched.
That's really a noggin scratcher. I'm gonna have to say Dickinson. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you why. Dickinson, because it's like Emily Dickinson, but they fuck or something like. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I believe that's a great way to describe it.
I think that's a great way to honor a human being who actually lived in the same, world that we inhabit as well. I don't think that's disrespectful at all. I think the fact that Hulu still made Pam and Tommy, even though Pamela Anderson was vehemently against it, I think that's great. I think that's awesome content. I think it's cool to psychologically terrorize a woman 20 years after the initial terrorization. Mm-hmm. I think everybody should continue to be terrorized until they die.
Did they do it over her objections? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's great TV.
Correct, yes.
And it's great TV, man. And the ad sales have been going just gangbusters from what I hear.
Absolutely worth it.
You know what I just watched the first 2 episodes of on Apple Plus or whatever it's called is Severance. I don't know if you saw any of Severance from the Mind.
I've seen it all. I watch all content.
Yes, you watch all content.
I thought it was fantastic. I watch all content, and I think it's all fantastic.
Let me ask you something, Megan. What other tragedies historically are you looking into for content?
The tragedy of Macbeth.
Oh, come on.
That's something that was tragic. That was recently made into Oscar-nominated content.
Yeah. Was it a tragic production? Is that what you're saying in that cheeky Hollywood way?
No, I think it went very well.
Mm-hmm. What other tragedies might be, if we could give our audience a little sneak peek, what other tragedies might be in the offing? Chernobyl was covered already, and it was taken today by the Russians.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of sex in that movie.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
I think there needs to be more sex in these movies.
I'm developing something about the Congress-created Dust Bowl that is occurring between Los Angeles and San Francisco, California. If you've ever driven up and down I-5, you will see many signs about the Congress-created Dust Bowl. Pelosi, where's our water?
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
That's what I'm working on right now. That's what I'm passionate about.
Yes.
It's going to be an 18-part mini docu-series on Hubu Negative.
Hey, can I make one request?
I am actively having a stroke. What's up?
Can I make one request that the actors aren't covered in dust because, it's so nice to see the pretty actors and the pretty faces and the pretty bodies. And I just don't like when Hollywood, like on a Dust Bowl thing, will cover them in soot. Yeah. Can you make a promise that everybody will be looking decent? Absolutely, because we're actually going to CGI in the dust. We're going to film
we're gonna film in Central California, okay? But we are going to send the footage to somewhere in South Korea and pay a bunch of very talented animators, not a living wage at all,
a living
to digitally
wage.
add dust to the picture.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ms. Koester. This has been an amazing, eye-opening interview, and I want to thank you so much for being part of Apocalypse Soon. I think, this cements everything that I've been saying, that tragedy is... The news is based on eyeballs, getting eyeballs to it.
Yeah.
They love tragedy. It attracts viewers.
It's entertainment.
You've just,
It makes for the best content.
It makes for the best content.
And I just want to thank you for letting me along on your journey.
Well,
beautiful.
thank you. And many more tragedies to come.
Yes.
And the ecosystem is also collapsing. So I'm sure you have a lot of stuff in the works.
Oh, yeah.
That's quarter 3. You got me. That's what's coming up.
All right. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.
Megan Koester, everybody. Where can they find you, Megan?
Oh, yeah.
Where can they find you?
You can find me. I'm currently at the top of, that high rise that CAA's in?
Yeah.
I'm about to jump off it.
Oh, wow. We'll make
My
a
life is
great
empty.
documentary about that.
Okay. That's cool. That's great. And good luck with that jump. I'm sure they have nets around CAA. So many people have killed themselves.
See you in Century City.
All right, Megan, thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Megan.
Okay.
COVID, fascism, increasing wealth inequality, and eco-collapse. It's quite a ride, but it's not a ride in a new Ford truck. Power steering, bright headlights, and alloy wheels make this a truck to drive through the American wasteland. Ford. It's almost over.
Welcome everybody to Guided Meditation. I am your guide, and we are in a park that is in disrepair, like everything in this country is in disrepair. And now I want to guide you, and here we go. I want you to release all the things that are destroying everything that lives, all of it, just to release everything, as if you're throwing it out of a 40-story building. Have you ever thrown your laundry out of a 40-story building in New York when you realize your roommate is a psychotic alcoholic, and that's why they've been coming home at 4 a.m. Right now, do you hear that plane? That plane is bringing canned goods to neighborhoods in America that need them. The lines for food banks are long, and it is going to get worse. So let's just completely let go, as if you're throwing things that shouldn't be thrown out of a big skyscraper in a major city. For me, it's New York. I like to see myself in New York and throwing condoms and, little bits of cheese and laundry and, those little pipes that you smoke behind a dumpster. Anyway, I don't know if you've gone down as low as I've gone down, but like hats, you throw out hats, Apple Watches that you've come across. You throw out food bits besides cheese, strudels. I have thrown so much strudel. Anyway, so just release as if you're throwing things out of a tall building, and come to center here in this frankly scary neighborhood, which the only reason we're probably alive filming this is because a couple of rich people bought property here and the police are protecting this perimeter of the park. So I want you, now that you've released all of that things like, pears, sometimes you throw a pear, gum, just release everything in your life, a car, a beautiful miniature replica of the Boxer Rebellion. You remember that Boxer Rebellion in China that happened, and you went antiquing and got a beautiful miniature replica of that? Throw that out the window too. And now that is out of the window, I want you to remember the most embarrassing moment in your life. Remember the most embarrassing moment in your life. Have you remembered it? Well, just realize that it's probably far worse than you thought. All the embarrassment you feel, it probably was far worse than you thought. Just breathe that in. Breathe that in. And now, with your out breath, I want you to realize that you will never have a soulmate. You'll never have a soulmate. Not in this economy, not in this time period where everyone is atomized behind a computer, not talking to anyone anymore, just a major struggle of life and death. You'll never have a soulmate. And now, with your next in-breath, I want you to know that droughts, floods, fires, and food shortages will be your constant companion in the days ahead. And I want you to know that even though you will have this fate, you can help me avoid it by subscribing to my Patreon page. That's right. Go to my Patreon page. The link will be put in this, whatever this is. Now, with your next in-breath, I want you to breathe in the anxiety, the tremendous anxiety you feel because you can't sleep properly at night, because you're not only worried about money, you're worried about the fact that you can't access your emotions. You're worried about the fact that you have traumatic pain trapped in your chest, but there's no way you can access it because you've had too many years. You've had too many years of suppressing it, and everyone tells you no, you can access this traumatic pain and heal yourself, but you know better. Breathe that in. You know that traumatic pain is locked in there because you have spent 60 plus years pushing it down. Yes, 60 plus years. Breathe that in, and with your out breath, I want you to subscribe to the Eddie Pepitone Patreon page so Eddie can afford a good therapist, so Eddie can afford the finest in shock therapy. Eddie wants to go into shock therapy. And do you know how much the Los Angeles Power Board, Los Angeles Water and Power, is charging for shock therapy and waterboard therapy? That's right. Eddie wants to be waterboarded by Dick Cheney, and that is a lot of money. And now, with every in-breath, I want you to feel the regret that you feel late at night, which keeps you from sleeping. The regret of not being in the place in life that you know you should be if you had any focal point, if you had any concentration, but you know that you can't concentrate because you're too much of a pleasure freak. You're addicted to your senses. Breathe that in. You're addicted to pleasure. You're addicted to instant gratification, which you think in the moment is serving you, but you know that your life is disintegrating every time you eat that horrific, you eat carbs at midnight, and you know, breathe that in, you know it's going to be on your belly when you wake up, and you think, maybe I should have been a sumo wrestler. Namaste, everybody.
Here at Chipotle, we know that surveillance techniques are refined and developed against overseas populations before being brought back home. We know what you're doing, and that's why the Binlada Amlosa Burrito is just what you need. 28 cheeses are involved, only this week.
Hey, everybody, thanks for stopping by Apocalypse Soon. And while you're here, why don't you rate and review us on iTunes, and please become a Patreon member, patreon.com/Eddie Pepitone, or go to eddiepepitone.com and become a Patreon member. And I just want to thank everybody for coming by again. The world is crumbling, and so are you.
I love seeing you do these plugs, Eddie, because I can tell every time you do a plug, it just brings you pure joy to do the self-advertising stuff. I know you just get a real rise out of it.
I really, really like just begging.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah, it's not out on a street corner. It's in a nice fucking environment. You know, you know how everybody ridicules people who ask you for money on the street, you know, oh, this fucking guy. But here, there's a civility to it, and you know, it's kind of nice. So
it's
please give.
Nice. Yeah,
basically, I'm saying please give.
Yeah, fill the fucking digital cups, you fucks.
Fill the digital cup.
Fill the digital cups,
you fucks. All right, thanks for coming by.
See you next week.